If you're trying to decide between a new construction home and an established home in Alvin, this video is going to walk you through the pros, the cons, the costs, and a few things that buyers don't think about until it's too late. I work with buyers on both sides of this decision all the time, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Let's start with new construction. One of the biggest advantages is the builder warranty. Most builders will offer a 1-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, and that typically covers most items in the home. You'll typically see 2 to 5 years on the mechanical systems like HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and then 10 years on structural components like the foundation and the framework. So in the beginning, you're not paying for repairs out of pocket. If something comes up, the builder is usually responsible. That peace of mind is a big deal for a lot of buyers. If you're building from the ground up, you may also get customization. Floor plan choices, cabinet colors, countertops, elevations, which means how the front of the home looks, and sometimes even layout adjustments like an extra bonus room, an office, things like that. You're not walking into someone else's style, you're building closer to what you actually want. Another benefit is amenities. Many newer Alvin communities offer walking trails, playgrounds, private parks, and retention ponds that you can even fish in. So it's more of a planned lifestyle environment. And of course, we can't ignore efficiency. New homes typically will have updated insulation standards, double pane windows, newer HVAC systems, and that can mean lower utility bills compared to an older home. Now let's talk about what buyers are usually surprised by. First, the payment. New construction is typically priced higher, and many of the neighborhoods have a higher overall tax rate, which brings me to property taxes. When you first close, your taxes might be estimated based only on the land value. But the following January, once the home is fully assessed, your taxes will adjust to include the value of the house. That can cause your escrow payment, which is part of your mortgage payment, to increase significantly. And a lot of buyers just aren't prepared for that jump. That will typically happen January of the next year. Then there's MUD taxes. A MUD is a municipal utility district. And it's a special taxing district that funds infrastructure like water lines, sewer systems, roads, and drainage. So instead of the city paying for that up front, the district issues bonds and homeowners repay that throughout an additional property tax rate. So your tax rate might include city, county, school, and MUD, as well as some other districts. It's not a bad thing. It just means your overall tax rate is usually higher in new subdivisions. You'll also often see an HOA capital contribution fee. In many Alvin neighborhoods right now, that's about $950. That's separate from your annual HOA dues, and it's paid at closing. And lastly, lot size. Newer subdivisions typically have smaller yards and less mature trees. For some home buyers, that doesn't matter, but for others, that's a big lifestyle factor. Now let's look at established homes. One of the biggest advantages is lot size. You'll often get a larger yard, mature trees, and more space between the homes. Many established neighborhoods also have lower tax rates. Some have no MUD taxes, and some don't even have an HOA. And if there is an HOA, you usually won't see that upfront capital contribution fee. Another advantage is negotiation. With resale homes, you can negotiate repairs, price, and sometimes closing costs. With builders, that flexibility may be more limited or only set for a certain period of time. The downside for established homes is, of course, maintenance. Depending on the age of the home, you might be looking at an older roof, HVAC system, or other systems that may need attention sooner. You may also want cosmetic updates like flooring or kitchen improvements. However, those updates can also create equity if done strategically. Let's talk about 3 things that people often forget to compare. Insurance. Insurance can vary significantly. New homes will often qualify for better rates because of newer roofs, updated wiring, and those modern construction standards. Older homes can cost more to insure, especially if the roof is older. So that is something that you want to take a look at. How old is that roof? Number 2, timeline. With new construction, build times can vary. There can be weather delays, supply delays, or construction timeline shifts. If you're building from the ground up, you're usually looking at several months, 6 months, 9 months, sometimes even a year. With resale, you're typically closing in about 30 to 45 days. If timing matters and you need to move soon, that can influence your decision. Number 3, resale strategy. This could be a big one. How long are you planning to stay? If you're planning to stay for 3 years or less, your resale timing matters. New construction is often priced at the top of the market when you buy. With established homes, sometimes there's wiggle room and some value growth, especially if you're making improvements to the property. If you're planning on staying long term, the decision may lean more towards lifestyle preference. One extra note if you are thinking about buying new construction, so just think about the timeline of a neighborhood. When you first move into a neighborhood, that is the lowest those home prices will ever be. As the neighborhood is built more and more, those prices will go up. So it's actually best to get in early if you're able to, because you're going to just be building your equity while other homes are being built. So something to think about. So which option is best for you? A new construction home is typically ideal for someone who wants lower maintenance early on and modern finishes and those community amenities. Now, an established home is ideal for someone who wants a bigger yard, potentially lower tax rates, and more negotiation flexibility. There really isn't a specific right answer. It's just whatever works best for you. It comes down to your financial comfort level, your timeline, and what matters most to you in your lifestyle. If you're deciding between the two, we can always run numbers side by side with the lender so that way you can see the full picture before you commit. It's always best to make an informed decision so you feel empowered going through the process.